How are we doing today? Firing pin for Beretta Neos. Pre-recall. Never trust the safeties. So anyways, I'm doing firearm maintenance, and I'm thinking. My son's sitting next to me. He's a 3-year-old little boy. Wonderful little boy. He's intelligent for a 3-year-old. But let's face it, all 3-year-olds are about as bright as a burnt-out light bulb. They want to get into everything. So we need to teach them firearm safety. And here I am, trying to get some carbon off my firing pin here. And thinking, why firearm safety should be taught to everybody. And it's real simple. Here in America, we own a lot of firearms. I have more than a dozen. But I don't like to normally advertise. But I'm letting you guys know I do have it. And you know, you sit there and you turn on the news and little Johnny's shot little Sally. Well, it could have been prevented. It doesn't matter if you want firearms in your house or you don't want them. Everybody should be taught firearm safety for the simple reason that children don't think. Especially if you don't teach them to think. They don't think. They ought to, ooh, neat. Well, that's where firearm safety comes in. You got to teach them. And if you're in one of those households who don't want a firearm, well, here's the perfect reason for. Okay? You don't know if little Timmy's family has a firearm. You send your child over to little Timmy's to play. Well, they find little Timmy's father's firearm, or mother's, or whatever, and he takes out one or the other. So there's a child that's dead. It could have been prevented. Several ways it could have been prevented. But the key to preventing accidental firearm deaths, such as little Timmy taking out little Johnny, is real simple. You teach your kids about firearm safety. You could be one of those people that really despises firearms. All you need to do is teach firearm safety. Because you educate your child, they're actually gonna start thinking and doing the right thing. Because not everybody advertises what they have for firearms. I don't like the idea of having signs out there, saying, well, my house is protected by a .357 Magnum. Well, guess what? I just advertised that when I'm not home, there might be a .357 Magnum sitting around that somebody can get to. So that's my reasoning for not advertising. Now, so you go, you're one of those anti-gun people. Like I said, that's fine. I actually have nothing against them. Your child goes over to neighbors, finds a gun, fires it, kills the neighbor's kid, which all could have been prevented because you didn't teach them firearm safety. It's that simple. Teaching them safety. Yeah, you might want to get rid of all firearms, but let's face it, it's not going to happen. Even Australia, with its very strict laws, which would prevent me from having this, a semi-automatic pistol wouldn't prevent accidental deaths due to negligence. And that's what it is negligence. Negligence on the parents' part for not teaching firearm safety. So, firearm safety is the first line of defense. Period. You can have all the fancy gun safes in the world. You can have all the fancy trigger locks, chamber locks. You can have even barrel locks. I've seen them. Don't like them. But I've seen them. And it's not going to prevent accident, They do work to prevent accidental discharge. Let me correct myself. But it's not 100% fail proof. Because let's face it, I'm a little absent-minded. I don't remember to put my chamber locks on or my trigger locks. And if I'm sitting here, look at my son, and I worry for him, but he's being taught to respect him. He's also being taught to respect life. Human life, animal life. He's being taught. That being said, do I plan on taking him hunting someday? Yes.
I'll watch it.
If he wants to shoot, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's fine. I'm not going to force him to pull the trigger. It wasn't forced upon me. My father says, here you go, point it down range. If you want to pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Well, I did, my first time, I didn't. First time I went bear hunting, though, by myself. I took 3 shots at that damn bear. Missed all 3 times because the world was jumping around like crazy. But, what it boils down to is weapon safety is paramount. We need to make sure that every child out there really knows what a firearm is and what it's capable of and how to handle one. And I don't mean by handling it by, going out and shooting it, but how to deal with it if they find one. And let's face it, I found a firearm when, it was a flare gun, but I still found a firearm when I was a child. I knew how to take care of it. I knew how to handle it. I opened up the box that it was in. Ooh, I know what this is. Closed the box up and ran with the box over to my mother. I handed it to her, says I found this at such and such a place, which was an empty house at the time. And, sit down, boo-boo. And she took care of it. I knew not to put my hand on it because it's a weapon. Flare gun's more of a safe. I treated it like it was as a weapon, and we needed to teach our kids that if they find one, get an adult. I know I'm probably parroting one of the organizations that I'm not really fond of. I won't name names. But, they are right when it comes to firearm safety, gun safety, weapon safety, whatever you want to freaking call it. We need to make sure that our children, are prepared for the eventuality that they might find one. Or they go over to their friend's house and pick one up. They see their friends have firearms. Doesn't matter if it's a simple. If you start off with a frickin' Nerf gun, it's still teaching them weapon safety. Yes. It's just that simple. Teach them safety. Weapon is always loaded. Period. Unless you have personally checked to make sure that it wasn't loaded, the weapon is loaded. And that's what I've been teaching my son. Nerf guns come in handy in that one. Well, Unlucky Eddie signing off.